Alright, guys. You might have heard the name Sigmund Freud before, right? An Austrian neurologist. A guy who said a lot of things people still argue about. And one idea he talked about that most people don't like was about fathers and sons. He believed that a boy doesn't become a man just through love and comfort. He talked about something called the Oedipus complex. Was not in a weird internet way, but as a stage where a boy has to separate from childhood and meet authority, limits, and resistance. In simple words, friendship with a father comes later. First comes structure, and that's what I want to talk about. So, guys, Sigmund Freud believes that a father must be a thread, not a friend, or the son never fully becomes a man. And yeah, I know how that sounds. It sounds harsh, it sounds outdated. But stay with me for a minute. Because he was not talking about violence or fear for the sake of fear. He was talking about something deeper. He was talking about authority, the kind that doesn't disappear when emotions get uncomfortable. Every boy is born into the world of the mother. That world is warm, forgiveness, and safety. That's where life begins. That's where love is unconditional. And don't get it twisted. That matters because without that foundation, a child breaks early. But there's a truth most people avoid saying out loud. You don't become a man there. Comfort can raise a child, but it cannot finish the job. Guys, maturity begins when comfort stops being enough. Sigmund Freud called this transition the law of the father. Not anger, not violence. Instead of that, limits, hierarchy, and resistance. Authority that doesn't collapse when feelings get loud. Because the world doesn't care how you feel. Yeah, it just doesn't. Your bills don't care, your responsibility doesn't care, and reality doesn't negotiate with your emotions. Sigmund Freud also talked about the Oedipus complex, not the internet version people joke about. What he really meant was a boy has to psychologically separate from the mother's world. Guys, not to disrespect, not to abandon, but step out of safety to live, learn, survive, grow, everything. Because a man who never leaves comfort will spend his entire life chasing it, avoiding anything that challenges him. Historically, initiation into manhood was not soft. It meant separation, it meant fear, discipline, sometimes even pain. Uh, the father didn't protect the boy from danger, he walked him toward it, toward responsibility, toward competition, toward risk, not to break him, but to harden him enough to survive a world that won't hold his hand. Guys, now look around. Fathers are afraid to say no, afraid to be disliked, afraid to be seen as too strict. So they become buddies instead. Yeah, it feels good in the moment. But look at the results. Grown men addicted to comfort, mm, terrified of criticism, avoiding risk, chasing approval like it's oxygen. Uh, they are not weak men, they are unprepared men. Guys, when people hear all this, they assume the father has to be strict, angry, hard all the time. But that was not my story. My father was not harsh with me. He didn't control every move. He didn't micromanage my life. What he did was something else. When I was 9 years old, I was sent to boarding school. And yeah, that was not easy. At that age, you don't understand preparation. You just feel distance and silence. Like the world suddenly got bigger overnight. And guys, I was out of my house for 15 years. Yeah, 15 years of learning that no one sits you down and teaches. In that, I learned acceptance, patience, learning how to manage my own life, handling loneliness, failing quietly, getting back up when no one holding my hand. And guys, my father didn't teach me these things with lectures. He didn't explain life to me. He tested me with conditions. He didn't remove obstacles. He didn't soften the words for me. But he stood there, steady, knowing I had to learn how to stand too. And at that time, I didn't get it. I thought, why do I have to go through this alone? Why can't things be easier? But no, now it's clear. Now it's time to grow more, even more. And he was not abandoning me, he was trusting me. Guys, the law of the father is not about control or fear, it's about preparation. A strong father doesn't clear the path for his son. He lets the path test him while standing steady behind him. Support says, I'm here. Rescue says, you can't do this without me. And too many men were rescued when they needed resistance. And guys, friendship with the father is real and it's possible, but it comes after strength, not before. Because firmness is not cruelty, it's about preparation for a world that won't negotiate with you. So now you build the discipline, you introduce limits, you become the authority in your own life. Not loud, not aggressive, just solid and slow. Because the world will not negotiate with you ever. And the sooner you accept that, the stronger you become. And guys, this taught me that manhood is not about being loud or strict or trying to dominate anything. It's about learning to stand when no one is holding you up. And guys, it taught me that a father doesn't have to shout to be strong. Sometimes strength is being steady enough to let your son struggle while knowing he'll find his footing. It taught me that discipline is not punishment, it's protection for your future, for your people, for the man you are becoming. And maybe the biggest lesson was this: if someone trusts you enough to let you face the world at early stage, it's not abandonment, it's belief. That's what this taught me.